Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Johnny Vlogs for today, Monday, July 17th, 2017. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Before we get started, we have to thank one new Patreon supporter, so this won't be too long like last week's. Dylan is now pledged on Patreon. Thank you so much for the support, Dylan. Today I wanted to get into a topic. I know it's going to be a little touchy, but I'm seeing a trend of videos that is going on with YouTube. I consider them YouTube vigilante videos. They are essentially videos. A lot of them are based on people trying to nail pedophiles. Essentially, you will have YouTubers that will talk to these guys in chat rooms. They'll tell these guys that they are underage, that they are children looking to meet up with these guys. They will set up a place to meet these guys, and then they show up with a camera and essentially try to shame the person because of what they were trying to do. And there is some question. I'm really not sure if there's a bunch of different creators, but I'm not sure if any of these things are really turning into any substantial type of conviction. We have seen this format before. Chris Hansen, if I recall correctly, used to do a show called To Catch a Predator that was kind of this same format. But it's a very different thing where you have a TV production crew being involved. You have them cooperating with law enforcement. I'm sure they had their own security guys with them there, as opposed to a YouTube crew, which at least in most cases, it looks like there's two people. Typically, there's the person that is trying to intervene, and then there's at least a cameraman. But in terms of that being a very secure situation, I don't think that's a good situation for either party. Admittedly, you have someone, you're shaming them for what they're trying to do. They're going to have fight or flight instincts kick on, just like any regular other human out there. And there is potential for someone to get hurt, especially when you have situations like occasionally the YouTuber will be confronting them, grabbing at their clothing, standing in front of their vehicle, not allowing them to leave. It just seems like a really, really bad situation. I'm pretty certain we're going to hear a news story here relatively soon about one of these YouTube vigilantes where something has gone wrong. And outside of that, I just struggle with the value in doing this. Is that action where you find that person and you shame them, is that really going to deter them from doing this again? You would hope so, if they were a decent person, but that is where this conversation breaks down immediately. They are not a person that are probably operating on a conventional mindset like you or I, where, of course, if we were shamed for doing something ridiculous, we would stop and not let it happen again. In some cases, these people might be dealing with emotional disorders and all kinds of other stuff, which once again just ramps up the danger angle on all this. But outside of all that, I have a favorite YouTuber that I watch. He's a guy that does DeLorean conversions. You guys, especially you long-term Lord and Arts fans, know that I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek and an old movie geek, and I love the DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future. His name is Video Bob, and he just put out a video last week where he had set up a sting. Essentially, he had a van that kept getting robbed, and he put a bunch of empty boxes for like electronics equipment in there, put a bunch of cameras in there, but it wasn't enough for him to catch footage of the guy and hopefully be able to identify him through the footage, maybe by turning that over to police. These cameras had alarm systems on them. And Video Bob knew when that van was being opened, and him and a crew of people come running out. They drag this guy to the ground, and I'm really bothered because these guys are not trained in law enforcement. And even in that video in particular, like, you hear the scuffle, you can't see it because unfortunately the door closes, which means that Video Bob is not protected either. If that guy's neck got broken in this scuffle, or if he got hurt in any way, he could quite easily turn this around and turn this into a lawsuit. We've all heard of that lawsuit where the criminal, falls through a glass ceiling or something like that and winds up suing the homeowner. But in that video in particular, Video Bob gets this guy, I suppose, on the ground, and he's saying, "Give me your wallet, give me your wallet." From us not being able to see what's going on and just hearing the audio, it sounds like Video Bob is literally robbing the guy that's trying to rob his van. And the footage does not capture the guy removing anything from the van at all. So even in terms of using it as a piece of evidence to try to get some kind of conviction on this guy, I don't personally think it's there. I'm going to have links in the description box below so you guys can check it out for yourselves. It's really strange because I see so many problems with this trend in YouTube videos, but I also want to recognize that it's interesting and somewhat admirable in my eyes that there's people out there trying to do the right thing, trying to stop people from committing these types of crimes. I get it. I know that these guys are taking very big steps, and some people might say they're being brave. Other people might say they're being foolish. But I think the intent of their actions to try to make this world a little bit of a safer place for other people is a good intent. I think it's just the execution of this that I really, really question. And I wish that these YouTube creators would put a lot more thought into what they're doing, how they're going about it. Maybe there's some other way to do this where it's not always some guy confronting someone else, grabbing him by his sweater or stepping in front of his car, yelling at him openly in a public place of some kind. I don't know. I'm telling you guys, I just have a really bad feeling that we're going to hear this is like the next person gets hurt on YouTube story come out in the major media. And we don't need any more of those, especially after this recent one that happened where a woman shot her boyfriend because they were trying to make a video where they would show that a book would stop a bullet. And unfortunately, the book did not stop the bullet. It's very strange days in terms of YouTube, but what do you guys think? That's really what I wanted to do this video for. I want to hear your opinion on this. I'm sure there's some of you out there that are going to support creators that are doing this kind of stuff. Do you think that I'm being overly cautious? Is there not a risk to worry about? Are the risks worthwhile? Do you think that these creators would be willing to be injured and wind up in the history, maybe in history, wind up in the hospital over trying to make one of these videos? I don't know. I really need your guys' input. So please let me know about it in the comments below, and check out the description box for several creators. And I'll even have a link to that specific Video Bob video of him trying to catch the guy, which I also felt a little weird about because it looked like he was trying to make it like a sponsored video for Ring, which is a system of wireless cameras and wireless doorbells and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's the way that they want their product represented, but I don't know. You guys tell me about it. All right, everyone. I hope this is a kickoff to a very happy and cool week for each and every one of you out there. Happy Monday. I'll see you right back here tomorrow on the Lord and Arts channel.